What's going on, guys, and welcome to today's YouTube video. In today's video we are going to discuss the current state of Bitcoin, and we are also going to discuss the current state of Ethereum, in which you can see that the long positions that we discussed in Monday's video are so far playing out perfectly. I have moved my stop loss to break even on both of the positions, and as you can see, if we go to my VIP channel, I also shared these trades in our VIP channel. So I shared the Bitcoin long over here, and I shared our Ethereum long over here. Right now we have moved our stop losses to break even, and we know the targets. For Bitcoin, my first main target will be the August high on $25,199. And for Ethereum, my first target would be the buy side liquidity over here around $1,789. Today we are going to discuss the lower time frames on both Bitcoin and Ethereum, and we are going to discuss the current scenarios that I'm looking at on lower time frames, in which you can maybe even use those scenarios to get a scalp trade in. So let's dive straight into it. Because Bitcoin is looking very interesting, I think yesterday's candle closed extremely strong, as you can see. So we had a bullish engulfing candlestick after a couple of doji candlesticks over here, in which that is definitely a bullish sign. So the daily candle closed very strong, and in my opinion, more upside is likely as long as we flip this key area of resistance. So the previous range low over here, in which we are currently testing that for Bitcoin, is the key area to overcome. So we can also see that Bitcoin found resistance over here, and as soon as we flip this area as support, I think it's going to be a free ride towards $25,000. This is going to be the key area, so I do think it is possible to get a little bit of a pullback for Bitcoin. We can also see that the 4-hour candle closures were definitely very strong after the CPI data release yesterday. If we go onto the lower time frames, on the 1 hourly time frame, we can see that after this very nice sweep of the low that we had over here, Bitcoin had another sweep of the lows during that CPI data release, and we got a lot of momentum in that bounce towards the upside. So we can maybe even go in the lower time frames to see where we might be interested in a potential scalp trade. We can see that we have our sell side liquidity for Bitcoin over here, in which below that low is where we have that small imbalance over here, where there's a lot of demand coming in over here. I think this is the first area to look for a potential bounce for Bitcoin. Can we continue towards the upside from here? Yes, we can. But like I said, this is massive resistance. So to get some kind of a pullback is definitely something that we could be seeing today. Sell side liquidity, and if we go from swing low to swing high, we can maybe also detect some important Fibonacci retracement levels. So what can we see? We can see that below that sell side liquidity, we also have our golden Fibonacci ratio, the most important Fib level out there. We can also take this swing low and go towards this swing high, in which we can see that we also have that golden Fibonacci ratio around the exact same area, just a little lower. So I do think that our Fibonacci levels are aligning perfectly with our area of interest. And also, if we're going to take a look at the fixed range volume profile of this entire range, we can see that our value area low is over here around the exact same area where we also have the demand coming into the market. So definitely key area in which we have the point of control over here exactly at our golden Fibonacci ratio. So the first scenario that I would be interested in potentially trading, even though I'm holding my swing long position, is to go down a little bit more for Bitcoin, to get a sweep of the sell side liquidity into that golden pocket and into that point of control volume level. And then I want to see the right kind of reaction. So I would be scanning the lower time frames to see if we maybe get some kind of a bounce towards the upside, a sweep of that first bounce in which we take the liquidity of those people that long the first bounce. I would wait for a break of structure, and you can enter a long scalp on the higher low. This is the first scenario that I would be looking at, to get a liquidity grab below the sell side liquidity into that imbalance and very strong support. And if we get the right confirmations, if we get the right signs of strength, that could be a potential sign of a reversal towards the upside for Bitcoin. Okay, so definitely going to keep an eye on that. It is also possible for Bitcoin to go down a little bit more, and test this key area of support, and I would be waiting for the exact same price action to develop around this area for the Bitcoin price. Okay, so both of these two areas are key areas for Bitcoin, but like I said, we can also just continue to move up from here. It will depend a little bit on the stock market today. If the stock market is going to develop well, I do think Bitcoin can get a breakout above this key resistance area. If the stock market is going to see a little bit of bearish pressure and the index is going to see a little bit of bullish pressure, I think Bitcoin can definitely be testing this and this area. It is also possible to get a sweep of this low, because everyone that has been longing over here is putting their stop loss either below this low or below this low. So do keep in mind that we might go and grab all of the liquidity below, tap into the previous demand area that we have over here, and get a bounce towards the upside from there. That is also still a scenario that I'm watching, guys. I'm not too euphoric yet, okay? Still neutral, still watching every single scenario out there, but for now I'm very, very well positioned with my stops at break even. For Ethereum, we can see that if we go into the lower time frames for Ethereum and remove our drawings from our chart for a second, we can see that the Ethereum chart is looking quite similar, but in my opinion, maybe even looking even more clean. Why? Because Ethereum was having even more momentum towards the upside, and I do think that is a big sign of strength. So we had a break of structure towards the upside on higher time frames. If we go on a 4-hourly time frame, we can see beautiful break of structure towards the upside, and we also have an hour 4 fair value gap over here, which is my first area of interest. We then go on a 1-hourly time frame. We can see that we have our sell side liquidity within that hour 4 fair value gap over here. Definitely an area to keep an eye on. Let's check our range that we are working with. So that is not in confluence yet. We take our Fibonacci retracement levels from swing low to swing high. Fib retracement. You can see that we have the 0.382 at this exact same area. We can also take this swing low to this swing high, and we can see that we also have the 0.5 fib level. But especially the 0.32 fib level is, I believe, a key area to keep an eye on. If Ethereum is going to test this area as support, you want to be looking at the exact same kind of scenario as for Bitcoin. You want to see liquidity grab below that sells liquidity. After the liquidity grab, you want to see those signs of strength. If price is just going to hover around here for a little bit, I wouldn't be interested in a long scalp. I would only be interested in a long scalp if we get an aggressive liquidity grab below the low, bounce, sweep of the first bounce, and then I want to see a break of structure with momentum before I'm interested in taking a long position, okay? That is the first scenario that I would be watching on Ethereum. Second scenario would be to take out these equal lows over here where there's a lot of liquidity below, in which we tap into the imbalance, the demand area over here, and I would once again be waiting for the same kind of reaction as I would have been around this area of interest over here. Okay, let's also check the volume level. You can see big volume node over here, this exact same area as well, and over here we can see a beautiful volume spike at the bottom over here around our area of interest as well. Okay, so volume levels aligning perfectly for both Bitcoin and Ethereum. And if we go on a higher time frames for Ethereum, we can see that our area to overcome for Ethereum is pretty clear. I do think if we sweep the area over here, in which we can see that Ethereum found support and resistance a lot of times within this area, I do think it is going to be a free ride towards new highs and towards our first target of, let's see, take profit target number 1 of around $1,789. Okay, so definitely important area of resistance to keep an eye on for Ethereum. Definitely going to be very interesting to see how price will develop today for these two coins. Definitely only interested in the lower time frames. It is my birthday today, so I won't be around to trade as much because I'm leaving to visit my family in about an hour or so. Just quickly recording this video for you guys to see what potential scenarios we are having on the table today to potentially trade. But definitely keep an eye on those. If you guys have any questions, even though it is my birthday, you can still hit me up on Twitter. Join the free Discord as well, and you can ask me all the questions you want, and I will always be there to answer them for you. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. To give me a little present, make sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel, smash up the like button, and I'll see you guys on Friday's video. Ciao, ciao.